be able to get into that by yourself. So that's a good way to do that. And once you've found where you feel is about center after doing your circles, what you want to do is come all the way forward. You can take your hand and place it in your lower back if you'd like, but if not, just come straight back up without bending again at the back. So you'll come straight back up. And what that's going to do is you say sit up straight, but really our spines have this natural S curve to them. And that's going to help us. If you place your hand back and run it down your back, you're going to feel a slight curve. That's what you're going for. Now you don't want to be all the way back here where you're like really overdoing it, and you also don't want to be slumping over here. But good center, nice slight curve to the back. So from there we'll keep going up. The upper back will take care of itself if you take care of the lower back and the head and neck. So we're just going to start talking about the head and neck. And this is really where this posture gets uncomfortable for a lot of people. Our heads tend to hang over our shoulders a little bit, some of us more than others. And with this posture that we're taking, we're trying to sit as efficiently as possible using as little energy as possible. So we kind of want to bring our heads back so that it's sitting over our shoulders and top of our spinal cord. So the spinal cord is essentially like a roll of quarters sitting on top of each other. So to do this is a kind of a two-part motion. We're going to push up with the crown of our head as if we're trying to hold the ceiling up with the head, as well as pull back on the chin. Now I say this is a two-part motion because if you just pull back on the chin, what a lot of you are going to do is this. You're going to go. You're going to roll it forward just like that. That's not what we're going for. It's really an up and then back kind of thing. If you roll your chin down, it's probably going to interfere with your breathing a little bit, and you're probably going to put a lot more stress on your neck. So once again, you go up and then back with the chin. And to kind of know if you're doing this right, a couple things. If you swallow, you'll notice some pressure there, as well as your teeth are going to come together. And that is what we want to happen. You want your teeth, you'll notice they come together. You're not gnashing or gnawing or biting down real hard, but they come and sit right on top of each other. And what we do then is we take our tongue, place it up on the roof of the mouth. Why? Because when we're just normally hanging out on an everyday basis, we generally don't realize how much saliva we produce until we're trying to sit still and face a wall and pay attention to our mind. So what's going to happen when you don't do that, for a lot of people, they're going to kind of get freaked out. They're not going to know. All of a sudden you're thinking, well, what do I do? Do I need to move? Do I swallow this? Do I do whatever? This is when I kind of say, yeah, go ahead. If you feel the need to swallow, go ahead and just swallow the spit. But when you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, it should kind of help with that. Same thing goes for an itch on your face or on your body, wherever. If you've got pain in the knee and wherever your back, and it's the middle of a sit, we're not one of those places. I don't know that these places exist, but I think sometimes people think they do, where somebody's going to freak out on you if you start moving during one of the sitting periods. It's not like you have to be dead still, completely, silent the whole time. If you cough, sneeze, it's okay. But like I said before, just kind of bring your attention to the itch, to the pain, and observe it for just a minute before you do shift or before you do scratch it. Sometimes it goes away by itself. So from there, talk about the nose. There's not really much to say about the nose except that when we breathe, we will be breathing, inhaling and exhaling through our nose. The eyes, that statue, you'll notice it has its eyes closed. I'm sure you've seen pictures of people meditating where they have their eyes closed. There are thousands of different schools of meditation, ways to meditate. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that is wrong. However, we are here talking about Zazen or Zen meditation tonight. And in Zen meditation, we don't recommend closing the eyes. And there are several reasons for this. First and foremost, you close your eyes, it sends a signal to your brain, it's time to go to sleep. Oftentimes, we're sitting very early in the morning, very late in the evening after we've been working all day or going to school all day or whatever. We're already tired. And you close your eyes, next thing you know, you're going to fall asleep. I've seen it happen. And that's great if that's what you're intending to do. But when we're trying to meditate, not so good. So reason number one, to not close the eyes. Reason number two is that you're going to notice when we start bringing our attention to our breathing that all of a sudden all these other thoughts are going to be popping up. They're going to seem to be coming out of nowhere. And the fact is they were always there. We've just never really paid attention to them. But if you close your eyes for whatever reason, that daydreaming is going to happen more rapidly, more frequently, as well as the thoughts. They're going to seem to come faster, harder. So, reason number 2, we don't recommend closing the eyes. Reason number 3 is that there's this big misconception, I think, about meditation that, we are trying to go to our happy place, somewhere, some beach in our head, away from the problems, away from the experience, the situation that we're having right now. And that could not be further from the truth. The fact is that when we're sitting, we are grounding ourselves right here in the present moment. And oftentimes, especially in the beginning, the ways that we do that are our senses. And to take away the vision by closing your eyes at the very beginning is kind of counterproductive in that sense. So 3 reasons we don't recommend closing the eyes. What we do instead is we kind of keep them a little bit more than halfway open, and we put our gaze down about 45 degrees. It's going to be 3 to 9 feet in front of you, depending on whether you're sitting, standing, sitting on a bench. But don't get too worried about the actual distance. Just 45 degrees, gaze downward. And we're going to be sitting facing the wall, as I mentioned before, which I know seems kind of weird, but it kind of helps to keep the thoughts to a minimum. But it's going to be tempting at the same time to pick a point on that wall and stare at it and try to burn a hole through the wall like you're Superman with X-ray vision or something. Don't do that. You may become nauseous, dizzy. It's just not, you don't want to try to focus too hard on one point on the wall. What you want to do instead is kind of allow everything in your visual field to be there, to just be where it is. Don't pick anything to look at. Don't focus on any one thing in particular. Just let it all be there and relax your gaze. And what may even happen is your vision might become a little bit blurry. Don't worry about it. You're not going blind or anything like that. Well, not today at least, but at some point maybe. I don't know. But your vision will come back. So don't worry too much about that. You also might see spots, colors, some kind of visual, I use the word hallucination, but patterns, something like that. Might just be your brain. It's not used to slowing down, to trying to not jump from idea to idea. We call it monkey mind, swinging from thought to thought, branch to branch. That's what our minds do on a daily basis. And when we practice Zazen, we're kind of breaking that habit. So for that reason, sometimes you might see some kind of pattern, something like that. Don't worry about it.